So we can see here, students, that these two positions x2 after t time interval, it is depending on this is the position in the x-axis, x coordinate, which is depending on the in the same way as we have seen in the one dimensional motion, that this quantity vxt, distance, we can say distance is equal to speed into time. So this is the quantity representing the same thing which we have seen in the one dimensional motion, and this is the initial position when the object is at position a, the x coordinate is x1. So after t time it goes vxt in the horizontal, in the x axis, in the positive x axis it goes vxt, which is similar to one dimensional. And if we talk about in y dimension, if we observe in the y axis, in the vertical axis, we are seeing here when in the same time t it is going, it is moving, the distance which is v by t, it is being displaced v by t, which is same with, as we are seeing here, same in the same way it is moving as it was moving with uniform velocity in the one dimensional motion. And the final position y2 is y1, which was initially here, you are seeing here y1, and finally when it moves and reaches at point b, so y2 is equal to y1, and this distance is, we can say, v by t. And if we talk about x, so this is x1 and this distance is vxt. So in the same time interval it is moving similar to as we have seen in the one dimensional motion with uniform velocity case. So these two are independent of each other. These two are independent of each other. x2 is equal to x1 plus vxt, y2 is equal to y1 plus v by t. So this is case for uniform velocity case. Now we can see the case of uniformly accelerated motion. So the second topic is uniformly accelerated motion in a plane. Second topic is uniform acceleration, motion with uniform acceleration in a plane. Let's see. The same figure could be used to define, to analysis the motion here. So let's say it is a position A and the position vector is r1 vector, and it displaces and reaches at a point B, and the position vector is r2 vector, and this is displacement vector AB, and at this point it is, let's say, x1 and this is x2 position, and this is y1 and this is y2. Now we know that this is the uniformly accelerated motion, it means there is an acceleration, and we know that if we define at a time is t1, and velocity is, let's say, v1 vector, and where v1 vector is, we can say vx1 I plus vy1 j. We can say this is vx I plus vy1 j, and this is velocity and this is time, and at b time is, let's say, t2, and v2 equal to, velocity is v2 because velocity would change when it is moving with uniformly accelerated motion. So v2 is equal to, we can say, vx2 I plus vy2 j, and acceleration we know that a vector equal to, we can say, axi in the same way plus ayj. It has both components because it is moving in a plane in two dimensions. There are two components of the vectors, x and y. It could be y and z also. If it is moving in the yz plane, it could be x and z if it is moving in the xz plane. So here we are taking this particular example for xy plane. That's why I am only bounded with x and y coordinates. So this is axi plus ayj. Now we know that the acceleration A equal to delta V and delta t. Change in velocity with respect to time interval. So delta V is final velocity v2 minus v1 upon delta t is t2 minus t1. On multiplying both sides, cross multiplication. So finally v2 vector equal to v1 plus a t2 minus t1. Now we have already one relation for the, if we talk about the average velocity, v average velocity. We know that for uniformly accelerated motion, average velocity is final velocity and initial velocity is v1 plus v2 divided by 2. This is average velocity, we can say v1 plus v2 divided by 2. And we can now put v2 and v1 if we take time t1 equal to 0 at the time of observation and t2 equal to t. We are considering at the time we are starting analysis, the time is we take 0 and after t time interval its velocity becomes v2 and initially its velocity v1 is, let's say, u and v2, let's say, v. At the time of observation t1 equal to 0, velocity is, let's say, initial velocity u and at the time t2, that is t second, after t second the velocity is final velocity, we representing here v. Now put these values here, so it would be v equal to u plus a and here t minus 0, that is t. So this is v equal to u plus a t. Now if we take v equal to v equal to vxi plus vyj, then u equal to uxi plus uyj plus a is axi plus ayj and this is t. Now we can take I and I terms common and I am writing here, this is ux and ax into t plus ax t I plus uy plus ay t j. On comparing both sides, here is vxi plus vyj. On comparing both sides, what we get, I am writing here vx equal to ux plus axt, equation first, and the second equation is vy equal to uy plus ayt. This is equation number second. Now you can see here, you can observe here that at t equal to 0, t1 equal to 0 initial and the time when we started analyzing, the initial velocity is u and we can say u has both component x ux I plus uij, and after t time interval its velocity v, we can say it is vx I plus vyj, because it is two dimensional in a two-dimensional motion in a plane, and vxi plus vyj. So you can see here that the motion which is in the two dimension, but when we analysis this motion, and we are seeing here motion which is related, the component which is related, the velocity component which is related to one axis, which is x axis here, is independent of the component of velocity which is in y axis, and both the equations are similar to this equation which we have studied in the one dimension, which is v equal to u plus at for uniformly accelerated motion. in one dimension be equal to u plus at. This is same, this is analogous. You can see here, this is the final velocity, x component of the final velocity in the x-axis, and this is the x component of the initial velocity in the x-axis. This is the x component of acceleration in the x-axis, and in the same way you are seeing here, this is the y component of the velocity, final velocity in the y-axis. This is the y component of the initial velocity in the, and this is the y component of the acceleration. And these two equations are independent of each other. No one term you are seeing here, only time is same. You are seeing here only time is same, and all the components are different here. So time would same. It means when the object reaches at a point at that place, the velocity, the distance traveled, we can also say the distance traveled in horizontal in one dimension, and the distance traveled in another dimension would be it reaches in the same time. We can say object reaches in the same time when it travels in a plane. The distance which it covered in the x-axis, it covered in the another dimension, we can say y-axis. Both the distance could be different, but the time taken by the object to cover the distances yet covered the reaches at the same point, the time would be same. Only the time is same. You are seeing here, the time is same. Very important point here. It is same. Time is same. Time is same. So the time which is same here, and these two equations are being used independently when we studied the projectile next to this topic. And we would use all the equations just like we are using here. So for the next two equations, which are x equal to x naught plus uxt plus 1 by 2 ax t square. Similarly, this is the equation for the displacement. Initially it was at position x naught. Object was initially at the position x naught at time t equal to 0, we can say, at the time of analysis. It was, let's say, its initial position is x naught. It doesn't mean that always the object is at origin. It could be anywhere in the plane. Suppose initially it is at here. So here the x component is x naught, and the y component is y naught. So this is the initial position in the x-axis. So this is x naught, and this is the displacement, which is the distance which he covered after t time interval. So the final position in the x-axis is x naught equal to uxt, x naught plus uxt plus 1 by 2 ax t naught. From here we can also say that this is x minus x naught equal to uxt plus 1 by 2 axt square. Now this is what? This is the distance covered in the t time interval. Suppose it is at here and finally it reaches at this point, and at this point the position is x. This position is from here. This is x and this is x now, and this is the distance covered in the x-axis. This is the distance covered in the x-axis, and in the y-axis, if this is y naught and let's say this is y, so y naught is this one and y is this one, and the distance covered in the time interval is y minus y naught. So in the same way we can also say y minus y naught equal to uy t plus 1 by 2 ay t square. Time would be same. All that things will be different, but the time will be same. So I think you have cleared this basic concept in two-dimensional when the motion is in a plane, or we can say it is in a two-dimension. So we can use the equations of uniformly accelerated motion, either v equal to u plus at, either s equal to ut plus half at square, or v square is equal to u square plus 2as in the same way, but in a individual axis. In the x-axis or y-axis, only the time would be same, but the component, if the motion is in the, if we are taking the equation in the x-axis for the displacement, then the component of the velocity would be, initial velocity would be ux, and the component of the acceleration would be ax. In the same way, if we take the displacement, if we take the distance in the y-axis, the component of the velocity now would be changed. It would be uy and it would be ay. Only the time would be same. Now what is projectile? What is projectile? Projectile, if we, when an object is projected when an object is projected at an angle, let's say theta, with respect to horizontal, and thrown, it moves in a vertical plane. It moves in a vertical plane. That type of motion, such type of motion is called projectile motion. It is a simply type of motion in a plane, which means it is in two-dimensional motion. If we throw we can say stone at an angle from the surface, and let's say this is a stone is thrown, and the stone is thrown from the surface, and it is thrown with initial velocity, and it is at an angle, let's say theta. It goes like this, and you are seeing here the stone goes like this, and this is the vertical plane. Let's say this is a wall, and the stone is moving in this vertical plane. It means there are two coordinates which are changing, which is, we can say, if it is x and it is z. So the motion is in x and z direction, and these two coordinates x and z plane, and these two coordinates x and z are changing. So we can see that this is a motion in a plane, and we have seen that how we would solve such type of numerical problem. We would solve such type of numerical problem keeping all the components of velocity, acceleration and displacement in one dimension, independent to each other, and only the time would be same. If we see you can see here, if this object is moving from here to here, so it means if we talk about both the motion in x and here we can say z axis, so the time taken for the object in x axis, moving from x axis, it is moving from here, it is x naught, initially it is x naught, and finally it is reaching at x, and let's say this is coordinate axis, this is z and this is x axis, this is x axis, this is z axis, and this is position x naught from here, and this is the position x from here. So this object is reaching at this place, let's say this is B, and let's say this is A, and this is the maximum height, let's say this is C. So the time taken for the object to reach from here to here in x-axis means it is moving x minus x naught distance. It is moving x minus x naught distance in one dimension. We would solve the numerical problem just like in one dimension, but independently from each axis, from x-axis, for x-axis and for z-axis. So x minus x naught, this is the distance which covered, let's say the time is t. So for time t, it is covering the distance x minus x naught, and if you talk about the z-axis, you are seeing here, the in z-axis it is reaching maximum height. It is reaching maximum height in when it reaches here, in x it reaches here. When it reaches here in x, it covered distance this much, and when it comes down, the total time when it goes up and comes down is t, and in that time it reaches from x naught to x. Means distance covered from x naught to x is in time interval t, and from here, this if we talk about the distance, it is, let's say it is h. So it goes h distance in y axis, z axis, and it comes again h same distance in. So it covers 2h distance in the time t. But the displacement, if you talk about the net displacement for this particular case, it is 0 here, because it is for the z axis it is 0, because it is reaching at the same place. If you talk about z axis, it is not displaced in the z axis. So this is the case here. The time covered for the covering the distance 2h is t, and the time for the displaced for x minus x naught covering the distance x minus x naught is also the t. And there are many examples of the projectile motions, and in projectile motions you have to keep one thing in your mind, that if we solve for this particular one dimension, for if we talk about this x-axis, horizontal axis, we could ignore the effect of air resistance. We could neglect the effect of air resistance, because if object is moving from here to here, the velocity of the object could not be changed. It would move with uniform velocity. So for horizontal axis in projectile, velocity would be constant. Velocity would be constant, means it would move with uniform velocity. And let's say it is projected at an angle theta with initial velocity u. It is projected at an angle theta with initial velocity u, and we know that for solving such type of problem, we have to break this velocity component with this velocity into components. For this, we would draw the perpendiculars, and this component is ux, this component is u cos theta, and this component is u sin theta, and this is, we can say it is ux x component, and this is uy y component. So u vector is uxi plus here z, so we can say it is uj. So it is uj, and if it is y, if we take this is y, so it would be uy. So it is k. For z, it is unit vector k. So this is I and this is k. U and ux is, we know that ux is u cos theta I plus this is u sin theta k, and this is u vector. So from here to here, when we solve for x-axis, the velocity would not change. It would be u cos theta. So if we want to find out this distance from here to here, which is called range. This is called range. This distance is called range. And if you want to find this distance range, which is here, you are seeing here x minus x naught, simply because the motion in this direction is uniform velocity. So for uniform velocity, we know that distance is equal to speed into time, and the speed is ux. So this is ux, and the time is t. Time is t. We have mentioned time is t, and ux is u cos theta, and the time is t. So finally, range equal to u cos theta into t. And if you want to find this distance, this is the maximum height achieved by the object when it is initially projected with initial velocity u. So what velocity? I am asking a question to you that if object is moving in this particular path trajectory, and at each and every point, what is the velocity? Is the velocity u would be same if it is moving in this trajectory? No, only ux is same. Ux component at each point is same. But the component uy is changing. Why it is changing? Because of gravitational force. Because we know that in vertical motion there is gravity, and because of gravity there is acceleration due to gravity. So for vertical axis we would consider the motion as a uniformly either accelerated motion or retarded motion. When the object goes in upward direction projected from downward, there the velocity we know that the velocity decreases as it goes in the upward direction. So for upward direction, formulas would be like this: Vy equal to, first equation is Vy equal to Uy minus G, and the time, let's say t1. So for upward direction, if we want to find the velocity at here, which velocity? Velocity component Vy. And we know that Uy, if we have Uy and the time is given, then we could use this equation Vy equal to Uy minus Gt, and Uy is u sin theta minus G, acceleration due to gravity, t1, and if time is given. So we know that because of this term u sin theta, which is at initial point, this is changing at each, and if y component is changing, definitely, not y, it is z. By default I am writing y again and again. So it is vz, because we are taking this axis at z. So vz equal to uz minus gt1, and this component is changing uz, you are seeing, and this is initial, and v, if you take v at any time, it is vy, it is vxi plus this is vzk, this is vzk, and you can see here the component vz is changing. It means v is changing, total velocity v is changing, and only the component x remains same. And at this position, at maximum height, we know that y component of velocity becomes 0. So here only the term which remains left is ux, here we can say vx or ux, which is u cos theta, because it would not change overall this trajectory. It would not change, it would remain same, because in this direction there is we would not take any acceleration. You have seen in the one-dimensional motion, when we talked about motion in a horizontal axis, there is no gravitational effect. So for this particular axis there is no gravitational effect, only the gravitational effect would be because g is for here same. So we would not take any g value for this particular motion. We would take only the effect of g we would consider for this particular motion. So I think you have got an idea how you would solve, how you would move forward towards this particular topic, projectile. So this is for this particular topic, and we would further do some derivations related to projectile motion, and you have clear idea finally what is the projectile motion and how you would solve the numerical problem of the projectile motion. Good morning students. In this video lecture we have going to start a particular case of the projectile motion, which is called horizontal projectile. Horizontal projectile. There are many cases in projectile motion. There could be many cases in projectile motion. This one is first one, and we would discuss some cases, and then we would start to solve the problem. What is horizontal projectile? In this particular projectile motion, an object, let's say this is a tower. You could consider this is tower or wall, anything, and this is ground. And from the top of the tower, which is at height h, we can say this is height h. From here, an object is thrown, an object is projected. From here, an object is thrown or it is projected, and it is projected with a projection angle theta 0. That's why it is called horizontal projectile. That's why it is called horizontal projectile. Why? Because motion is in plane. Why motion is in plane? We would see here, angle from the horizontal is 0. So in which direction it is projected? From here, first of all, draw the horizontal. This is horizontal. This surface parallel to this surface, this is horizontal, and it is thrown horizontally, which means angle theta equal to 0. And suppose it is theta, when it is theta is 0, so it is projected along this with initial velocity, let's say u. With initial velocity, let's say u. It is projected in this direction with initial velocity u. So how it could be go further? We know that it could go further like this. It would go further like this. And finally, it would reach at a surface, it would reach at a point on the surface. Let's say this point is B, and this is, let's say, O, this is, let's say, A. In this, you are seeing that the motion is in plane. The motion is in plane because x and y both coordinates are changing. So the motion is in plane. That's why this is projectile. And why it is horizontal? Because the object is projected at an angle theta equal to 0, means horizontally. Now let's start to find the formulas for this particular case. And I had told you the distance covered horizontally, the distance covered by the object is called range. What is range? Range is the horizontal distance covered by the object. Range is horizontal distance covered by the object. So it is displaced from here, it is thrown from here, it is projected from here, and the final distance it covered in the horizontal is OB. So here range is OB. So we have to find the formula for OB, and we have one more thing, time of flight. Time of flight. What is flight? You know the flight. Flight is the time taken by the object, to be in air, the time spent by the object to be in air. So it is projected from here, and from here it is in air continuously. So when it reaches ground, so the time duration for the object from here to here to come from here to here is called time of flight, because in this duration he spent his time in air. Okay, so this is time of flight represented by capital T, which we have to find this particular. And let's start to solve. As we know that at this point, this is thrown with angle theta equal to 0, and there is a initial velocity u. Initial velocity is u. What is the vertical component of the velocity? What is the vertical component of initial velocity? 0. Because it is not projected at an angle. It is not projected like this. It is not projected like this. It is projected horizontally. It could be projected. It could be projected like this and this. But for this particular case, which we are going to discuss, it is projected horizontally. So there is no vertical component. It means here only ux is 0 and uy is 0. Very important point here to observe. And if it is projected like this at an angle theta, then there is angle theta, then we can say that there is ux cos theta and uy sin theta. But it is not the case here. It is projected horizontally. It means there is only ux which is u, there is uy which is 0. Now we would solve, we know that we have to solve these two cases in x axis and y axis independently, as we have seen in the previous video lecture. So when it goes from, if we take only the one dimension, if we take the x axis in one, so it goes from here to here in x axis with constant velocity. We have already told you, for this particular motion, for the motion in this direction, horizontal motion, the velocity would be constant, and we know that there is a component which is ux, and ux is u here. It means he moves from here to here with velocity u. And what about from here to here? The time taken by the object to reach from here to here means covering the vertical distance and covering the horizontal distance is same, because when it comes from here to here, it goes from here to here, and finally he reaches at here, because when it comes from here to here, horizontal distance would become 0, and vertical distance would become 0, and the horizontally it reaches at B. So the time taken, because it finally reaching at this place, and here y is 0. If we take this axis as y axis, y is 0, and x is, there is something value for the position x. Now we are going to solve, and we know that for this vertical position we have to take the motion as uniformly, either accelerated motion or retarding motion. But we know that when the object comes down from up to down, there is a increase in velocity, means acceleration. So we would use formula for here to here, vy equal to uy plus g. But we would not take this g component, because for vertical direction g is same, this is g. And for this direction, as we have told you in case of in the previous video lecture, that we take the two component for acceleration, axi plus ayj. But for this particular, for projectile motion, we know that acceleration is 0. Ax in x direction acceleration is 0, because it moves with a constant velocity, and we know that if the object moves with constant velocity in any particular direction, acceleration is 0, because acceleration is rate of change of velocity. That's why ax is 0. So ax is 0, only what we have, ay, and which is g. For projectile it is g. So vy equal to uy plus gt, and gt is we would take as capital T, because the time taken come from here to here is same come from here to here, and finally he reaches at this point, and during this time it is in the air, which is time of flight, so it is capital T. And vy uy is 0 plus gt. So what we have, what we got, vy equal to gt. Equation first. For this particular case, ux speed into time, speed into time is equal to what, distance, which is OB, and which is called range. Which is called range. Now for this, use the second equation. Total displacement is h equal to uyt plus half g capital T square, because time is time of flight equal to time of flight here, and h equal to uy is 0, so this is h equal to half g t square. From here, capital T, time of flight, could be written as T equal to 2h upon g square root. 2h upon g square root. So this is the formula for the time of flight for this horizontal projectile. If you have given h and you know the value of g constant, which is 9.8, either we could take 10. So this is constant. Only if h is given in the problem, you can find the time of flight. And if you able to find the time of flight, and if you have given the initial velocity ux, which is u here, so it is u into t, so you would able to find the range. So formula for range is this, and you could put the value of t here. So if you put the value of t here, so it is u into under root 2h upon g equal to range. So this is the formula for range, u into under root 2h upon g, and you could also find the velocity vy. At this point, what is the velocity component? What is the velocity? So vy equal to g, and t is under root of 2h upon g. From here, vy equal to, if you take this g inside, so it would be 2hg square upon g, g to g cancel. Finally, vy, y component of final velocity is equal to under root 2gh. And if we ask in a particular level, what is the velocity? What is the velocity? Not the component of the velocity. So velocity v, final velocity v vector, we know that it is vx I plus vy j, and we know that vx in x-axis, the final velocity for the x-axis, the final velocity at each point and is equal to the initial velocity, because there is no acceleration, there is no change in velocity. So vx is ux, and vy we know that under root 2gh, so vy we know. And if you want to find the magnitude mod v, which we know that under root of ux square plus vy square, ux square plus v, and the ux is u, initial velocity ux is u square plus v, this is vy, and vy is this, and if you square this, so it would be 2gh. So the mod v, or we can say simply v, final velocity at this point is under root of u square plus 2gh. You can also find the velocity vector v at each point on this trajectory. On each point, because at each point, this is vx, let's say at time t1, and this is vy, let's say at time t1. This is not the time of flight, because time of flight from here to here, come from here to here. This is, let's say, time t1. So vx t1 is same, it would be same, which is u. It would not change at here, at any place, but here it would change, vy t1. And vy t1, how you would find, how you would able to find this quantity? From here you know that velocity is 0, and here to here time is t1. And you could use this formula vy at t1 equal to uy plus g t1, v equal to u plus gt, and uy is 0, so it is simply gt1. So if you have given the time after which time you want to find the velocity, so you could able to find vy t1, and if you could able to find vy t1, it means you could able to find the y component of the final velocity at this point. It is already known u, so finally you could take under root and you could solve the particular value. So finally at this place velocity would be magnitude of velocity v at t1 vector equal to u square plus this is g square t1 square. So this is all about the horizontal projectile. There could be many cases if this is throwing, if we are able to at angle theta and this angle from the downward side, it could be anywhere. So thank you.